What's good? This is Tico, Tren, Red Pill, and my today's topic is going to be is is why I don't endorse red pill or I mean why I don't endorse I'm sorry why I don't endorse PUA or game on my channel is pretty much the topic today. Um, so that's going to be the topic today. The actual subtopics to this is going to be um my thoughts on it. Does it work? And why I actually don't endorse it or talk about it, which actually goes into my thoughts on it. Typically, what's up, Baron Yam? What's good, my homie? Shinobi One, what's good? But today we're going to talk about why I don't endorse PUA or game on my channel, or why I don't teach it, or why I don't preach it. Subtitles are going to the subtitles to this and topics of this are going to be why I don't preach it or teach it, even though I do know it. Why I don't damn does it actually work, and my actual thoughts on it and the whole entire thing for all intents and purposes. So that's going to be the overall. That's going to be the overall syllabus of this lovely live stream. Yeah, I'm getting all educational on y'all asses. That's gonna be lovely syllabus of this lovely live stream for all intents and purposes. Um, Starting with the reason why I'm gonna start with, does it work? Yes, it does work. It does work. Game is actually very good to have, especially if you have low self esteem or you lack the self esteem. It's good to have. However, if you don't if you don't address the underlying situations or causes, the problem is though it's your problems are still going to persist no matter what. That's typically how that works. So you basically have to address the underlying causes or the underlying problems for why you're having social problems or social, you know, you're not able to actually get women for the most part, or you're confident. You still have to address those things. I mean, don't get me wrong, game is good for that. However, it doesn't really complete you, and you run into other problems when you actually go out there for all intents purposes. So you gotta be able to take on the fact that you're not going to be able to, just because you know game, that don't mean that you're a better person, human being off the bat. However, learning game is only a small portion of what you need to do to actually improve yourself as a human being. Yes, it does work. Game does work. I will say that off the bat. Game does work for all intents purposes. Game's very good because at the end of the day, game is good in person, and you can't use game online. You got to use game in person. Well, you can use game online. It's not as it's it's very hard to use online, especially with like dating apps that they only look at your pictures. But game is good in person for the fact that you can actually change somebody's perception of you with game, or you can change somebody's how somebody sees you or views you with game. And it don't even necessarily have to be, the sad part about that, it doesn't even necessarily have to be just women. If you want to get that job or you want to get that promotion, game is good to have. All jokes aside, like if you want that promotion or you want that job, or you basically you got to be able to use game completely. You can't just use it just for women, because if you're just going to use it for women, then you're obviously you only got half the game. Typically, is how it works. You got to be able to use game to complete yourself, and to actually be able to, like, a good example of game is your ability to get out of getting a ticket from the police officers, no matter who they are across the board, let it be man or woman. That's typically how that works. So if you're not able to use game to get yourself out of a ticket, and you're staring, and on the other side of the window is a male officer, your life is going to be hell. Your life is going to suck. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying spit game to the cop and try to ask him for his number. I mean, like, use game to manipulate him out of giving you a fucking ticket, basically. So if you can't do that, then you're not as good at game as you think you are, for all intents purposes. That's typically how that works. So it all comes down to charisma, for all intents purposes, timing, charisma, and the whole gamut for the most part. Is typically how it works when it comes to it. Now, I will say this: if you're going to learn game, I will learn complete game, and I will learn how to like get yourself out of stupid shit or get yourself into the actual job that you want or get yourself the promotion that you actually want or get everything in life that you actually want via game for the most part, because at the end of the day gaming is not just for women. Gaming is for gaming is art across the board for everything, every aspect of your life for the most part. That's typically what it is. That's typically what it is as far as that. That I will say. So it is very useful. It does work, and it does change the perception of everybody around you, no matter who they are from any walk of life. Typically, is how that works. My problems with game, the reason why I don't teach game on my channel or do game on my channel is I don't really believe it's a necessary thing. I really don't. I'm personally all about and bettering yourself and empowering yourself to do better for yourself and make yourself a better version of yourself. You don't really need game to make yourself a better version of yourself. You can always go do stuff like change your diet, exercise, work out, learn new things, learn a couple languages, stuff like that. What do you mean? What game is this? It's game. It's all pretty much game. That's the side of the game that nobody ever really teaches you online for the most part. You can actually learn. You can actually learn how to pretty much how to be very charismatic and actually get yourselves out of like fucking tickets or get yourself out of a crazy judgment from a judge that you don't need to be in if you actually use game properly. It's about gaming. It's all about like I call it complete game. Whereas like the game that everybody preaches online and teaches online is just game pickup artistry game and game for like getting girls and shit like that. That's typically how that works. Well, that's besides the point. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like as far as like if you do something stupid like you're speeding or you do something stupid like you got to go to court or you do something stupid where like you know or you do something stupid where you got to get out of it basically. Game is always good. It's always good to be able to use game to get yourselves out of situations. On top of that, it's also good to have the type of game so you can actually, smooth yourself into like not really smooth yourself, but like game yourself into a better position or game yourself into a better raise or game yourself period into a better position. That's typically what that is. That's the game I'm actually speaking of. So game is actually really good if you actually understand game completely, not just picking up women. That's typically what it is, what I'm talking about. What's up, Double I? Now, moving right along, my thoughts on it is it's not necessary to actually progress in life. It's not necessary because at the end of the day, like I was saying at the beginning of this, yeah, basically closing deals or getting out of shit. Typically is what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You got to learn that portion of the game if you want to be complete and total game. You got to be able to do not just pick up women, but get your ass out of the most stickiest shit. Like they call it fast talk excuse if you ever play D&D. Fast talk excuse, which is a charm skill. Yeah, but yeah, it's typically stuff like that, which is a charisma skill or charm skill, basically. But you typically want to be able to actually do that for the most part. True story, yeah. Game is nothing. You can't prevent if you can't prevent problems from popping up, or if you can't address the problems as they're popping up in your face. If you can't address them properly and get out of them properly, then game ain't shit for the most part. And that goes for any type of game. If anything pops up and you can't wave it off with a couple kind words and a smile, then you ain't shit. But yeah, that's typically what it is. However, what I will say is, like I said, well, like I was saying before I was answering everybody's things and co-signing on everybody's stuff in the comment section. Um, typically, how this works is The unskippable Dungeon Master cutscene. You can still skip around it if you got game, Shinobi one. Cutscene. Cut the Tico cheese in. No, but no, but yeah. Typically, how that works is, you'll run into problems like that and stuff along the lines of that. However, my channel is about improving yourself outside of game, because you don't need game to improve yourself. Like I said, step in the gym a couple times, exercise. Matter of fact, I actually got a workout. I actually got to do a workout session with Win tomorrow. Basically, we apparently Win said he's getting a little soggy around the midsection, so he got to stay in shape. So I got to go work out with Win tomorrow. Basically, um, but typically, but typically, typically the typically the problems that a lot of people run into is they lack the knowledge or the ability to actually improve themselves outside of game. They think they just need game and that's it. When in fact you need more than just game. You need to actually improve yourself completely, mentally, physically, and emotionally, for all intents and purposes. So you can't just be out here talking about I'm going to go learn this game and I'm going to be great. No, it'd be better if you just improve yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically by like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and work out, you start seeing results. You start feeling better about yourself. You start getting the confidence that you actually need because you feel better about yourself. Typically, is how it works. And the sad part about that is it's amazing what like working out can do, getting a certain haircut can do, wearing a certain type of clothing can do, shit along the lines of that. Um, Hell, I know people that were like the most awkward people in the whole entire world. They picked up a ballroom dancing or a salsa class or a tango class. Now you think they Mr. CEO and shit like that. Meanwhile, they ain't even a CEO yet, and they walking around like they the big man on campus and shit like that. It's amazing with learning things, with learning certain things can do for you. And the neat thing about it is if you do take a ballroom dancing class and you do have a partner, the better y'all progress together, the better you feel as a human being yourself. It's typically how it works. This is why I always talk about like dancing and stuff like that. In a lot of my equate a lot of things to dancing, because the sad part about that is the better you progress in dancing, the more confidence you get in dancing. Mess around, you'll mess around and end up like one of the guys walking around looking like Maximus from Dancing with the Stars, thinking he's a shit. Typically, is how it works. But yeah, that stuff like that is like, I'm all about improving yourself, and game isn't really important to improving yourself. When in fact, you can actually improve yourself overall health by just simply working out, eating right, exercising, shit along the lines of that. Basically, that's typically how it works, and that's typically what it is. Um, so as far as that, it's a good thing. It's good to just improve yourself in general. However, I will say, don't just learn one thing. Learn multiple things. Be multifaceted when you actually improve yourself. Game isn't Game isn't really important in life for the most part. If you're just going to learn it to pick up women, because the sad part about that is you're not really learning anything but picking up women, and on top of that, it's kind of sort of a waste of time. It's a waste of time, and it's a waste of time and energy for all intents and purposes. So now I'm about to transition into why I don't really, my thoughts on it for the most part. It's not the greatest thing in the world. So typically, my problems with overall game, my thoughts on overall game and PUAs and stuff like that is, like I was saying, it's a waste of your time and effort. So now you're wasting your time and resources, which is your time that you can't get back, that you can't make money off of, on spend it on trying to get women. Listen to you. But typically how it works is, the problem is now you're wasting time and resources on trying to get women. What's up, Troy the man? Oh, happy to see you in my live streams, pimpin'. Typically the problem with it is now you're wasting all your time and energy and resources on trying to talk to women. That's a problem because now that's time that you can't get back. Let you be successful or not, you just wasted a shit ton of time that you could have used to do other things to improve your life or make your life better or make money or come up with money making ideas. That's typically my problems with the whole entire spending that much time trying to holler at women all the damn time because now you're just waste. It's just a waste of fucking time and effort and resources. And time is a resource. Your efforts are a resource. That's time that you could be making money. That's time that you could be learning something new. That's time that you can be being a successful businessman. That's time that you can actually put into learning what job you have now better so you can improve yourself so you can get that damn raise next year or next week or next month. That's typically what I mean by that. And a lot of people will put in so much time and effort on trying to get girls when they could just improve themselves in other ways. Like, why are we trying to get girls when you can actually improve your bank account or improve how much money you make or improve your knowledge or improve, like, your social standings or, your travel or, improve your passport game, improve yourself, period. And the sad part about that is while you're sitting there trying to holler at a girl, you're basically you're basically you're basically just wasting your time on that girl or many girls or how many girls they got you running around or trying to holler at in one day. um the sad part about that is what I would say to a lot of people: if your rate is not one girl for every two girls you talk to, then there's no point even fucking doing it. That's typically how I feel about that. If your rate's not one girl for every two girls you talk to, then there's no point of you even going out there and trying to spit game. That's exactly how I feel about that. It's a total waste of your fucking time. Any number higher than that for one girl and out of X amount of people, it's not worth your time because you just wasted a shit ton of time. That's typically how I feel. You have to be able to get at least one out of two girls each time you actually go out there and do it for it to actually be worth your time. The sad part about that is not too many people can actually do that. Real shit. Not even the pickup artists on YouTube can actually pull that shit off. It's that simple. Not even the pickup artists on YouTube can actually pull that shit off. So that's some shit that you got to work with or work on yourself for all intents purposes. My overall thoughts on it is it's not worth your time and it's not worth the effort if you can't do one and if you can't get one and if you can't bag one and two women for the most part. That's typically my thoughts on it because that's pretty much my rate that I actually hit every single time. If I was to go out and do it, that would be my rate for all intents purposes. One and two women. I'm not the most handsomest person in the world, so that kind of sort of blows black pillars out the fucking water on, you got to be handsome to be able to pull this off, basically. Not really. Not at all. You just got to have airtight game basically to pull it off for the most part. And a lot of times PUAs who preach this shit can't even come close to my fucking numbers, which is funny, which is very funny. Like PUAs that preach this shit can't even come close to my numbers. I can literally do for every two women, I can pull one woman out of those two women. Whereas pickup artists, they got 1 in 5, 1 in 6, 1 in 10, 5 in 100, shit like that. That's pretty much their going rates for picking up people. And the sad part about that is if you notice the people that they go after and the people that I can go after is two totally different type, two different calibers of women. Two different calibers of women. It's typically how it works. And the sad part about that is, unlike them, I don't even need to go and actually spit game. I can sit there and mind my fucking business, and somebody's gonna always want to come over and talk to me because for some odd reason I seem fucking interesting for some odd fucking reason, and it's typically how it works. And the sad part about that is I have more success minding my fucking business than I do, you know, going out my way to go talk to somebody. So why waste time on picking? Why waste time on hitting on women when in fact I can actually just have them come to me because for some odd reason I seem very interesting drinking my Johnny Walker Blue in the corner basically. at a bar while I'm just chilling there watching TV. It's typically what it is. Like, why waste my time on that when I can actually literally, when I can literally just have them come to me? And it's typically how it works. And like, I'm not saying that to be cocky. I'm saying that because that's how my life literally is. They literally just walk up on me. There's no way to explain it besides the fact that I'm chilling at the bar and I'm drinking my drinks, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bitches just show up. What? What do you want me to say? That's pretty much that's pretty much what it is. I ignore all the motherfuckers in the bar, and all of a sudden, people want to come over and talk to me. Like, nigga, I don't even know you. Like, who's you? That's typically how I feel about it. And the sad part about that is, he said that's better than flipping a coin. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, it is. But the sad part about that is, my overall problem with that. Now I'm gonna actually break down why I think it's a bad idea and why I really don't preach it. Because at the end of the day, once you think about it, like I always say in my videos, if you're wasting time on something, then you're basically simping out to something. So, in all technicality, if you're spitting game to women all the fucking time, if you spend most of your time spitting game to women, you're basically simping to women. It'd be no different than somebody, a simp, pretty much giving his money, all his money and his rent money to a Twitch dot or OnlyFans girl or an IG model. That's typically what it is. Like, you're basically simping out your time that you can't get back. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can make the money back, but you can't make the time back to actually get the money back. Typically is how it works. And that's typically what it is. Like you're just wasting time on shit. Yeah, true. I can talk to them in 16 different languages too. But yeah, the sad part about that is you're wasting your time on spitting game to somebody who is not even going to be a part of your life for any long period of time. Why would you waste your time on temporary shit? So now, not only are you wasting your time, you're basically wasting your time on somebody that's temporary, and now you're trying to organize and spin plates. Okay, spinning plates. That sounds great in theory, but while you're spinning these plates, you actually got to remember these motherfuckers' names. You can't really yell out somebody else's name in the bedroom. It's typically how that works. Or you can't say stupid shit for the most part. Um, the sad part about that is now you got to actually stay organized, and now you got to actually now you got to actually keep mental space for all these women that you're spinning plates on. So now you got to keep this mental space for women. And my motto, y'all know my fucking motto when it comes to allocating space to people. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold grudges and or I don't hold grudges, or nor am I angry at people or hold grudges basically, or hate people, because at the end of the day that requires me to allocate mental space that I'm not willing to that requires me to put aside mental space I'm not willing to allocate. So in the same token, if I'm going to be talking to multiple women, that means I got to allocate mental space for these women. Why would I want to do that? Now I got women living in my head for free. Bitch, you should be paying me like it's rent. That's typically how I feel about it. Um, that's typically how I think about it, and that's typically how I feel about it. Why would I want to put aside mental space to organize things in my head for some people that's not even all that important? You see what I'm saying? I can spend that much mental space doing other things, like starting a new business, or working out, reading a book, learning a new skill, learning how to use something better, rebuilding my DIY computer. Simple shit like that. And the sad part about that is they'll try to tell you that it's good for you. It's good for you because you're a man. No, it's not good for you because you just wasted all your fucking time on some goofy heifer. And the neat thing about a lot of these people that they pick up, they're all hoes anyway, and they'll sleep around no matter what. So until you actually show me somebody of actual quality, then what you're talking to, ain't really shit. And the sad part about that is the women that they go after are all like easy targets emotionally and mentally. That's typically what pickup artists go after. They go after the easy targets emotionally or mentally. They never go after anything hard, really. They go after people who they know they can manipulate and that are very most of the women that they pretty much pick up are dense. They're dense as fuck for all intents purposes. So they're manipulating a bunch of dense women. That's all it really is. And the sad part about that is when it comes down to it, that's all they really can do. I mean, because after a while, you have to actually put in some actual work to actually get an actual person that's high caliber or, better, that has better standing as far as like, women. And the sad part about that, pickup artists aren't really willing to put in that type of work to actually do it. They tend to go after the easy prey. It's kind of like, think of pickup artistry like you're hunting in a savannah. You're going to go after the slowest, weakest thing, and you're going to pick off this. You're pretty much going to, go after the easiest thing to actually catch, so you can spend the least amount of energy doing it. That's typically what pickup artistry is, and what field game actually is in this day and age. You're basically spending the least amount of energy. You're trying to spend the least amount of energy as possible to get the easiest prey, so you don't have to spend as much energy. And it's pretty easy to get easy prey. Hell, I know an ugly fat guy that could get that for the most part. So like it's not when pickup artists tell me about their, tell me about their things, you tend to like actually look at them like, really, dude, really, dude, you're picking up a bottom feeder mentally and emotionally, they're picking up bottom feeders for the most part. They may look good, but mentally and emotionally, they're bottom feeders. That's typically what they're picking up, and that's the cold hard truth about pickup artists. So, transitioning on to my whole entire views of game and picking up women and spending time on women. Um, Basically, like we were saying, the manosphere, you don't want to waste time on something that's not worth your time for all intents and purposes. You don't want to waste your resources, your effort, your money, and what's the third one? I forget what the third one is. Your time and your money mainly on something not worth your time or not worth keeping around. So what I say about pickup artistry is if you're not going to keep it around, there's no point in wasting your time on it. Is pretty much how I feel about it. And if you're going to be in the field doing game and doing day game, night game, and all this game shit, you're basically wasting your time on getting on improving yourself altogether. Like, because all you're really doing is basically just a big repetitive motion. I'm gonna go holler at this girl today. I'm gonna go holler at this girl today. I'm gonna holler at this many girls a day. So now that you're doing this, what else could you have been doing in that time that you took to actually go holler at all these women? What business ideas did you have that you have in your mind that you push to the back of your mind because you're worried about hollering at women? Like, think about this shit. This is why you always see these pickup artists always trying to make money online because they really don't have any other skills to go with. That's what they're doing for the most part. The sad part about that is this is why you'll see pickup artists like what the fuck is his name? That mindset reject guy. Um and all these other pickup artists basically online talking about how to get girls and stuff like that because that's all they fucking know. They don't have any other fucking skills because they never took the time to actually cultivate any other fucking skills besides this skill. That's typically what it is. They took all this fucking time to hunt. They took all this time to do all this shit, and all they know how to do is, well, I got this pickup artistry boot camp for you, nigga. What? That's your only business model you got, nigga? You call yourself a businessman? That's all you got? The fuck out of here with that bullshit. And that's typically how I feel about that because at the end of the day, if that's all you can come up with after being a pickup artist, then you're really not shit. You don't waste all your time simping yourself out to women. Let you be the emotional tampon or, for sex, or for a sex toy for them, or all the above. For the most part, you're basically nothing more than a sex toy and or emotional tampon and or somebody to talk to. That's all you really are, and somebody to make them feel good about themselves. So you're basically their compliment man. So you're their compliment man, you're their tampon, and you're their sex toy. That's typically what it is. Because no matter how much game you actually know, at the end of the day, women are the gatekeepers of sex. And the sad part about it, when it comes down to it, I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit. When it comes to women in the field, 9 times out of 10, that woman already decided in her mind that she's going home with a guy. So these pickup artists really ain't shit for that reason. Because 9 times out of 10, if she's out, depending on her mood, depending on how shit went, depending on how shit changed, depending on how many drinks in her system, depending on how much she's been dancing, 9 times out of 10, she's already decided that she's going home with a guy. So these pickup artists are basically playing on the fact that she's already decided that she's going home with a guy. You just happen to come in at the right time. That's all it really is. That's typically all it the fuck it really is. And that's the sad part about it. Because at the end of the day, it's all about like how much time you're willing to put in and how much time you're not willing to put in. And if you're not willing to put in the time, why do it? If you got other ideas that you need to do, why? Why put yourself through that? Why make yourself why put yourself in that situation where you're expending so much time on women? Why do you want to do that? And the sad part about that is, if you ever notice with all of these pickup artists, they have these packages and they seem to cost exorbitant amounts of money that's not really worth the time and money and effort to put into that shit. Like, it's not even worth that. Like, but they put a price on it and people are willing to pay for it. So it's one of those things where, like, you find some more simps to basically pay you. So you basically get simps to pay you so they can simp themselves out harder. Typically, is how that works. Is pretty much what it is. So people are willing to pay a lot of money to learn some shit, sadly, and that's typically the day and age we live in. Because at the end of the day, in this day and age, at the end of the day, in this day and age, it's pretty much easy to get a woman, especially with this sexual liberation shit going on. You really don't need game to get a woman. You really don't need game to have sex with a woman for all intents and purposes. Hell, I told a story about a girl that I went to college with that was literally having sex with 3 to 5 different guys from each letter, and she was on T when I actually ran into her. You see what I'm saying? So getting sex from a woman is really not that hard, especially when women have body counts like that. Um, and the sad part about that is, like I was saying, it's not really worth your time to actually spit game or do game, because you're no better off. You're not in a better place, and you're no better off than the simps that pretty much simp out online for Pokemon. That's pretty much what it is. You're basically simping your time out to women. You're simping your time, your efforts, your energy, and 9 times out of 10 your resources out to women. It is what it is. Especially if you're not going to keep it around for a long period of time. So look at it like this. If you're going to go after a woman and pick up a woman, I would go after her and keep the woman for the most part. Why put in all this effort just for it to be temporary? Why put in all this effort for some temporary shit? And the sad part about that is, at the end of the day, that temporary shit costs you money. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you cut it, that temporary shit costs you money. Because now you're just riding around and you're calling people, and now you gotta figure out who's ready, who's not ready, what's not ready. Now you're wasting time that you could have spent on starting an actual business that actually makes some serious money, and or you could have done shit like you could have saved yourself a lot of fucking gas money. Is all typically how it works. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times, a lot of these people are driving around cars that eat a lot of gas, which is pretty much the case. But the sad part about that is, the time and effort and money that you got to put in this shit is worthless. It's just as worthless as raising a fucking child by yourself. I mean, raising a child by yourself is it costs, it pretty much costs almost about as much for all intents and purposes once you actually think about it and actually do the math. Think of it like this: you're a soccer parent and you're basically taking your children to and from soccer practice. Typically, that's the same fucking thing that you're doing with all these women that you're spending plates for. It's pretty much soccer practice, only for adults. But we'll call it sex to be nice. That's typically all it really is. And the sad part about this is this shit actually costs you money. This shit is actually costing you time. And the sad part about that is you really don't have no attachment to these motherfuckers, so it's definitely a waste of fucking time. Whereas at least you have an attachment with your children and you want your children to do better and be better. You see what I'm saying? So children actually are better. Having children and shopping your children around for different things and activities is way better than actually just trying to holler at some women. Because it's just a waste of your fucking time. It's a fucking waste of your resources. And you're putting in time and effort for women who mean nothing to you and are nothing to you. For what? Sex? What? 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 Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Man, I'd rather spend time reading a book. I'd rather starting a new business. I'd rather spend time coming up with a new business idea than trying to holler at some bitch I ain't gonna even keep around for longer than Lord knows how long for that heifer catches feelings. Because then when she catches feelings, now you got to go back out and get some new plates to spend. Like, think about that shit. Bitch catch feelings, now you got to go get some new plates to spend. You got to drop this bitch, go get some new plates. Like, think about that shit. And 9 times out of 10, you probably got like anywhere between 3 to 7 plates spinning at once. Some got 10 plates spinning at once. Think about how much gas money that shit is. Like, think about that shit. That's a lot of gas fucking money. That's a lot of time that you wasted on having sex that you could have wasted on actually starting a business or reading a book to better yourself or reading 48 Laws of Power, because I see that in the comment section some damn where, or, learning a new skill, learning a new trade, learning a new hobby, putting in time for your own hobbies, working out at the fucking gym. That could have been extra reps in the gym. That's typically how that works. And that's my overall problem on why I don't really teach it or preach it on my channel, because it's worthless. It's pointless. It really is pointless. Because at the end of the day, you're better off just having children and just shipping them around to soccer practice or any type of practice that they need to go to, because at least you're getting your actual money's worth out of this shit. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're actually trying to better your children's lives and progress your children to be better human beings in life. Sad part about that is I would rather have 10 children and have to ship them to various different practices or, activities after school than actually go run around and actually spin plates and have like 6, 7, 8, 9 women on plates that I'm just spinning. Because that's just a waste of my fucking time and energy. And the sad part about that is I'm not keeping them bitches around any fucking way. So why would I want to go out and drop this kind of time or money on my gas tank and wear and tear on my fucking car to go have sex with women when I can pretty much just sit at the bar, mind my fucking business, and have heifers walk over to me in my fucking face? Hell, I remember I was talking about something in True Charm's live stream last Friday when I went to DC. I was in Baltimore, and I was just chilling at a what the fuck was it? A restaurant area. Not really a restaurant area. I was looking for directions, and I stopped at this place to get directions. And the sad part about that, there were women in there, and within 1.5 hours of me being in that place, just chilling, I went to go get something to eat. I got some other shit. I was just chilling, reading my book and shit like that, because I was in between times. I had 3 women literally throwing choosy signals at me in a matter of an hour and a half. without even any effort. I was sitting there getting my GQ on though. Other than that, I didn't even use any fucking effort. I was like, reading shit, looking at my map to figure out where all the shit was on my phone, so I can actually organize my time much better, so I can actually move through Baltimore or DC more efficient. So basically, I was learning the city without having to worry about being lost in the fucking city. I was like literally learning the city block by block and memorizing the city block by block is what I was actually doing in that place. And the sad part about that is I had 3 women literally hitting on me and trying to get my attention in that 1.5 hours where I was sitting there learning Baltimore like the back of my hand. And the neat thing about this, I can do this in any state or city. If I go to any state or city, I can pretty much learn it like the back of my hand. I know where the hood is. So Tico loves the streets. Cause I belong to the streets. But yeah, like I learn the streets. I learn every single part of the neighborhood. I learn everything about the whole entire fucking city, the ins and outs, where stores are, what store used to be there, what store ain't there no more, landmarks and shit like that. I sit there and it'll take me about, let's say about an hour, about 35 minutes to an hour to actually learn the whole entire city if I'm looking at a fucking map. Another hour and a half if I'm learning the neighboring cities around it. I'll say about an hour and a half complete together if I'm learning the neighboring cities around the city that I'm actually in. And that's typically how it works, and that's typically how I operate for the most part. And the sad part about that is that's actually valuable time where I could actually drive around in a city like I lived in that bitch, basically. I literally drove around Baltimore and DC like I owned the damn place, like a nigga just pretty much grew up there. That's typically what it is. I use that time and effort to basically learn a whole entire fucking state and city, so and district, so I can pretty much drive around it like I own the place, like I run the bitch, basically. Like like I'm nigga from the street. So everybody waving at me like they know me and shit like that. Meanwhile, you don't know me, nigga. I just happen to know that I just look familiar to you because I look like one of the niggas from your hood, and I'm just driving around and I know the neighborhood. That's all it really is. That's typically all it really is. Because Tico belongs to the streets, so Tico learns the fucking streets. And like the sad part about that, these 3 women, were better than all the women that all these pickup artists show in their fucking videos. Way better than all the women that they show in these videos. Way better. I had this African girl. Oh my God. Ooh. Damn, I would have smashed that. Damn, I would have smashed that. But yeah, I had this one African girl. She had nice hair. She had the Nigerian hair going on there with the natural frizz curls going on. And she had long ass legs and shit like that. She had legs for fucking days. I shit you not. Just right, just thick, just right size, basically. She wasn't fat, she wasn't skinny, she was just fucking right. And she had long ass fucking legs. The type of legs that you look at a woman and be like, I would like those legs to be wrapped around me. Type shit, or I would like to leg wrestle her. Just shit like that for the most part. But she has some really nice legs. I will give her that, most definitely. So like there was that woman. Then I had this Arab woman actually trying to hit on me too. She had the African girl had she had the skirt on with the squirts on, and she had like the little jacket set that go with it, and like the little shirt that goes there. So it was showing just not too much cleavage, just enough cleavage where you could be like, okay, yeah, she can get it. She can definitely get it. Nice size titties. She looked good. Nice, perfect chocolate skin. Perfect chocolate skin. And the sad part about that is, then I had the Arab woman that was there, wavy curly hair, Arabic hair, pretty, no makeup, natural, out there in her yoga pants. Come on now, she got to have the yoga pants on, or was it I think it was leggings or yoga pants, basically. Butt perfect, body perfect, hourglass figure, just perfect. Chest just right, not too big, not too small. I would say about a C cup, B cup, C cup, like BC cup, basically. like just right, basically perky, young. Um, they were all between the ages of 22 and 23. Then I met this Asian, then an Asian woman tried to get my attention too, and she was actually a fine looking Asian woman. Like she was legit fine. She was like she was well put together. She was she was a businesswoman, and she was wearing a she was wearing a pantsuit, so like she looked good. She actually made the pantsuit look really really good. Like I normally don't look at women in pantsuits, but she actually made that pantsuit look really really good. She had a nice ass. She had nice curvature for an Asian woman, and she had nice size bobs for an Asian woman. So at the end of the day, I put in very little to no effort, and let's just say I know they're 20. Let's just say I know they're 22 to 23, and I know their numbers. I'm just gonna leave it at that because Tico belonged to the streets. So I know their ages and their numbers without even fucking trying. Without even fucking trying. Like legit. And the sad part about that, I spent no game to do it. I just sat there and minded my fucking business. And they came over to me. They gave me all the signals. And that's typically what it is. So at the end of the day, you don't really need game if you're confident within yourself. You don't have to spend a shit ton of money on shit for no fucking reason whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, there's no point in spending all this fucking money on shit. Especially when you're Tico and you belong to the streets. But yeah. Um, but yeah, it's the stuff like that that blows my mind. Cause like you'll see men out here like literally putting in time, effort, and shit just to get women. Like, why? 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 Notch count really doesn't mean shit in this day and age. Because the sad part about that is everybody's always trying to go for this magic notch count. Sad part about that, I've always said I'll take quality over quantity any day. I'll take quality over quantity any day. Why hit on things that are low quality or don't have any quality at all? Why have things around with no value to you or no quality to you? And before somebody get here and talk about, well, sex is quality, or I mean, well, sex is valuable. No, sex isn't valuable. Are you keeping that person around? Are you going to marry that person? Are you going to have kids with that person? It's not fucking worth your time, nor is it fucking quality, nor is it fucking worth any fucking thing. It's not even worth the fucking. It's not even fucking worth the skin that it's actually in if it's that easy to get. For the most part, and the sad part about that is, if you anytime you can manipulate a woman into doing some shit, she's very low quality. I hate to break it to you. A woman that you can manipulate into doing any fucking thing is low quality. And the sad part about that is it's very easy to manipulate women into doing stupid shit for all intents and purposes. And usually the women that you manipulate into doing the stupid shit are low quality women in the first damn place with very little to no morals at all. No moral, very little to no moral compass at all. And the sad part about that is people still try. And people want to run out and do this shit and say, I got this hot girl. She has no morals. She's going to leave you for another person that's going to spit game to her too. It's basically here's the thing about here's another thing about what when you pick up artistry. Pick up pick up artistry and manipulating women into wanting to have sex with you, or be one of your many people in your fucking plates, is basically like stealing a married woman from a married guy, or basically having a wife around and she's banging like her coworker, or she's banging somebody else. That's typically the quality of women that these guys are literally going after. You're literally going after like somebody's wife who's banging her coworker, or somebody's wife that's doing this, or it'd be no different if it's actually your wife and she's banging somebody else. That's typically what it really is. Like, think of it like that. And I hate to say it that way, but I hate to be harsh about it, but literally that's the type of women that you're getting. The type of women that get in relationships and will go and cheat behind their significant other's back. That's typically the type of women you're picking up. They're not quality women in the least bit. They've never been quality women in the least bit. And what is the fucking point? That's typically how it works. Because I look at it like this. Why date a woman, or as I was telling Dusty in another live stream, or in a Discord server, why would I want a door that every key can unlock? Why the fuck would I want a door that every single key can unlock? If I'm going to get that lock, I want to be the only key that goes into that lock. So why the fuck would I want to buy a lock that everybody has a key to? You see what I'm saying? It's basically what I said in that one last live stream, a few live streams ago, podcasts ago, when I was talking about like women in general. Like, why the fuck would I want a lock that every key can open or multiple keys can open? And it's basically what it is. Like, and that's basically all pickup artistry really is. It's basically nothing more than having a key being one of the multiple keys to that lock. So what you're trying to tell me is you're celebrating actually being one of many keys in that lock, when in fact you should be celebrating being the only key in that lock. And the sad part about that is when it comes to pickup artistry, they're a part of the problem, not the solution. Problem being that now you have a bunch of women that think they deserve all this shit or all this other great shit, or deserve things, or think that, men will cater to them, because literally you're simping to women. You're simping to women. So now women have this overinflated ego on what they think they have or what they think they deserve, all because of pickup artists. That's typically what you're doing. You're overinflating women's ego by telling them all this great stuff while you're picking them up, because you're giving them a bunch of fucking compliments. You're just pretty much just feeding them compliments like it's going out of fucking style. Insert compliment here, insert compliment here, insert another compliment here. That's all you're fucking doing. And the problem with it is now you got these women with these overinflated egos with low self-esteem that think they deserve the world. No, they really don't. They have low self-esteem. They deserve what they get, or they need to actually improve their self-esteem. It's typically how that works, but nobody ever talks about that side of the game, and nobody ever really wants to touch on it, when in fact you're basically getting a bunch of women who look pretty but have a low self-esteem. Those are pretty easy to get. Shit, hell, I remember when I was working at a bar, there was this one girl, she was sexy as hell, and she was with one dude, and she was trying to hit on me at the same damn time. Like, think about that shit. She's with this dude. He's like the talk of the town. He's like the wannabe alpha of the town, and this bitch is too busy hitting on me across the bar. Like, think about this shit. He's the talk of the town. He's the alpha male. All the women want him, but this bitch is hitting on me. Like, think about that shit. This bitch is hitting on me. Like, does that even fucking make sense to you? This dude's alpha. All the women talk about him. You always hear the conversations that they're always having about him, the size of his member, all this other great shit, how they're always cheesing. And this bitch that's with him is looking at me. So pretty women are easy to get if they have a low self-esteem. You see what I'm saying? Pretty women are easy to get if they have a low self-esteem. That goes for any nationality. Any nationality of women, if they're pretty and they have a low self-esteem, it's pretty much like an open bottle without it. You don't even need a fucking bottle opener for it. That's typically what it is. You're pretty much just picking up a bottle and just drinking the shit because it came pre-opened. That's typically how that works. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, if you're out and about at a club or a bar, that woman already decided that she's going home with a guy. You see what I'm saying? So the sad part about that is it don't matter what guy it was. She's already decided that she's actually going home with a guy. It's just about timing, and if you're in the right place at the right time. That's all it the fuck is. She's already decided she's going home with a guy. So at the end of the day, your game really wasn't shit for the fact that she's already decided in her mind at some point in the night that she's going home with somebody. That's where game falls apart. And the sad part about that is a lot of people won't talk about this shit. A lot of people won't, present this shit to you in the least bit. She's already decided that she's going home with somebody. So game is not really needed in that time frame for all intents and purposes. If you sit at a bar long enough, you can actually tell. You can tell from a woman's demeanor from the time she walked in the bar to we're going out for girls' night, we're going to have fun, to her demeanor starts slowly shifting into I'm jumping on one of these dicks in here. Basically, is what her man her thought train of thought. After a certain period of time of dancing on the floor, getting a couple drinks in there, her man transitions to she's hopping on one of these dicks in the bar. She's going home with one of these people in the bar, typically. And the sad part about that is it's all about the timing and when they show up. That's typically what it is. And a lot of people won't talk about this, and that's what a lot of people don't know. Um, and it is what it is. I guess you got to keep that a secret so people will stick around and pay you exorbitant amounts of money for game when in fact you really don't need it. And you can actually just go and actually look at each woman's demeanor and how they shift throughout the night, and you can actually take one of them home. It is what it is. So here's why I don't preach game, and here's why I don't teach game, because at the end of the day, there's three reasons. One, you really don't need it. Two, it's a waste of your fucking time. And three, you're simping out to women. You're simping out your time and all your available resources to maintaining and having sex and trying to get women for sex. Basically, you're simping out all your resources to them. Let it be your time, your money, your effort. And before you say, "Well, I didn't really spend anything," well, you probably spent money on that outfit. You probably spent money on your getting your car washed and cleaned and putting gas in it, and then driving to this damn place. So you spent money to do it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm willing to bet you any money. A couple of them, a lot of the pickup artists actually buy women drinks in the process. It is what it is. So not only are you spending money on your gas, but you're spending money at that bar on a drink for her and you, and it is what it is. But they won't say that shit. They'll try to make it sound like they're not, but they really are. A lot of them actually do. A lot of them spend money on women's drinks at the bar. It's typically what it is. And the sad part about that is I'm not coming about my wallet unless I know you. Ain't no money coming out of my wallet unless I know you. Let's be cool and we actually know each other more than just seeing each other a couple times and we actually talk to each other, motherfucker. I'm not buying you shit. I don't give a damn if you a man, woman, or guy. I don't give a damn if you a lost relative. If you're a lost relative, I don't know you. I ain't buying you shit. You got to get to know me, nigga. Like, for real. And there's just shit like that. It's like you're wasting your time. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of your effort. Like a good example of that is what I mean by starting a business is for a lot of you who don't know, I actually started a gym line for women for gym thoughts basically. I started a gym line for women for them to actually buy outfits to go work out in the gym basically so they can feel good about themselves. And the sad part about that is it only took me all of because I wasn't too busy trying to holler at everybody and under the fucking sun because I don't need to. It only took me all of it took me 3 days to actually come up with the idea and draw out the idea. What, a week to get in touch with people so they can make the product, and about another week or two to basically so I can actually be able to, you know, put the product on market or be able to distribute the product for all intents and purposes. So all that time spent on not hollering at women, and I have a nice gym line for women. Like, think about that shit. I have a gym line for women. And Yam has a point there. A lot of easy women have relationships with weak-willed women, weak-willed men. It's true. Plus, a lot of these women that look good. If you ever notice, there's a lot of good-looking women with ugly-looking guys, or pudgy-looking guys, or fat-looking guys, or funny-looking guys. Like, there's a shit ton of women with low self-esteem. Like, think about that shit. And that's typically all it really is: a bunch of women with low self-esteem. Oh, well, I'll give you that. If it's a work partner, if it's a coworker, yeah, I can see that. But I look at it like this: if my things on coworkers is, if we didn't meet at work, will we ever talk? If the answer is no, then I'm not buying you a drink. But yeah, it's just stuff like that. You're basically, when it comes to game, you're basically wasting your time, efforts, and energy and money on spinning plates, or focusing on women that you're not going to keep around. That's not going to be in your life longer than anything. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to waste time on pussy when, in fact, women have flooded the market with pussy, with all this free love, with all this, her body, her choice out here, you know, this feminist sex with everybody, anybody, everybody, jump on a carousel. It's pretty much a big ass cock carousel right now. Why would you need to put spit game for a cock carousel? Like, think about that shit. There's a lot of pussy going around on this carousel. Why would you want to spit game on it? And that's one thing that's always blown my mind. Like, why would I want to waste effort and time on hollering out of women when I can pretty much just go to the carousel and be like, I'll take that bitch right there on the white horse, number 21 white horse. Just shit like that. You can pretty much do that without. Yeah, yeah. It should come with disclaimers, because at the end of the day, you're just wasting your time. It'd be no different if you're trying to. I mean, it'd be no. It's pretty much the same. It's the same concept if you're trying to court a woman. Only thing different is you plan on keeping that woman around longer when you court a woman, versus you're just spinning a bunch of different plates. So now the sad part about that is, not only do you have to deal with one thing, one woman's attitude, you got to deal with multiple women's attitude. You got to deal with multiple women's attitude. Like, why? Why? Why would I want to deal with several different women's attitudes at one time? What is the point? What am I getting from that? What am I benefiting? Oh, sex? Not when I got to deal with her fucking attitude all the damn time, or deal with her flakiness, or deal with her stupidity and shit like that. Why would I want multiple women around with different personalities so they can rub off on me and fuck up my day? Shit. Because I've always been one of them people. Look, dude, if you're not worth my time, then I'm not having sex with you. Like, if you're not worth my time and I don't find you attractive, I'm not having sex with you. If I don't find you sexually attractive in the least bit. Because, like I said, there's levels to me. There's there's beautiful, attractive, sexually attractive when it comes down to it. There's a shit ton of women that don't meet that sexually attractive threshold. A shit ton of women that don't meet that sexually attractive threshold. I would say about 90% of women don't meet that sexually attractive threshold for me. And a good what like a good what 90 a good 90 I would say a good 90% meet the attractive enough category for me. So, like, the rest of them just, the 90% of them don't even meet the attractive enough category for me. And the rest of them, just everybody pretty much just falls into, she's pretty. She's pretty. That's all she really is pretty. And what I mean by that is, all women are beautiful, but not all women are attractive. That's typically my train of thought when it comes to women. All women are beautiful, but not all women are attractive. That's typically what it is. And then, so I could differentiate between attractive and me wanting to sleep with them. There's attractive and there's sexually attractive. So just because you're attractive to me, that don't mean I want to sleep with you. Unless you're sexually attractive to me, then I'll sleep with you. So there's attractive, and sexually attractive. Attractive means you're good. You're good to pretty much have around, and you're probably going to be friend material. That's typically what attractive means to me. You're probably friend material. If you're just pretty or beautiful, I'm probably not even going to befriend you. I'm probably not going to waste my time on you. So that's a nice way of saying you're my friend. If I say you're attractive, you're my friend. It's typically what it is. Um, if you're sexually attractive, then you meet that threshold, and that's probably what like all of what like 3%, 4% of women in this whole entire world that meet that threshold. It is what it is. 90% of women to me are beautiful. 3% of women, 3% of these women in the world are sexually attractive to me. So like I actually look at women like I'd hit that. It's typically all it really is. Like if I can actually look at a woman and be like I'd hit that, that's pretty much what it is. That's what sexually attractive is to me. You could be attractive and like that's pretty much friends category. Like I have a lot of attractive friends, a lot of attractive female friends, and that's all there'll ever be is friends because they don't meet that threshold for me to want to look at them and want to jump their bones. It is what it is. So you actually got to meet a certain threshold for me to actually be like, yeah, I hit that. This is typically why a lot. This is typically why I always hits pass in a gamer smash or pass. If you've ever noticed, like you really have to meet this threshold for me to actually want to even talk to you, and or for me to want to talk to you, you got to need to meet another threshold for me to even want to remotely think of you in a sexual manner. So you actually literally got to go through two thresholds for me to actually think of you in a sexual manner. And you got to go through one threshold for me to even want to talk to you. That's typically how I feel, and that's typically what it is. But people don't know that, and they think like, well, oh well, obviously he likes me. No, no, not really, not that much. And the sad part about that is all the women that I find attractive, just plain attractive that I have as friends, they look confused because I don't want to hit on them. They're always like confused or trying to figure me out, and they're always trying to like what? Wait a minute, why is this nigga? Everybody else is hitting on me. Why is this nigga hitting on me? What's going on? Why is this nigga not trying to jump in my pants? Everybody else trying to jump in my pants. What's up with this nigga? And that's typically a lot of my female friends are, or just they're just plain attractive and they're friends, and I don't really find them sexually attractive, so I never really want to jump their bones. I never really find them attractive enough to want to smash. So they're just around. And the sad part about that is believe it or not, a lot of my friends, a lot of my female friends actually been trying to make passes at me throughout the many years. Matter of fact, I made a video about that. Like I have a lot of female friends that literally make passes at me at random times. And it is what it is because the fact that I don't find them sexually attractive or I'm not trying to get in their pants fucks with their mind. It fucks with them mentally. Like, what the fuck's up with this nigga? How come he don't want to holler at me? What's wrong with me for him not want to holler at me? Like all these other guys are talking to me. What the fuck's going on with Tico over here? And they know I'm not gay because I like women. And the sad part about that, the fact that I don't find them sexually attractive, fucks with them. It fucks with them mentally. And this is what people need to learn about women. Women are just as shallow and just as bothered by shit as men are. The sad part about that is if you can actually friend zone a woman, she's more than likely going to want to get out of the friend zone and actually want sex with you because you technically just put her in her place. If you friend zone a woman, that's typically what it is. You literally just put a woman in her place by friend zoning her. And women don't want to be second. They want to be first. They want to be it for the most part. They basically just want to be it for the most part. And the sad part about that is like, if you put them in a friend zone, now they know they're not it. Now they're going to try their best to be it. You see what I'm saying? And that's basically the psychology of women when it comes down to it. Like, you don't really need game to do that. Just be like, look at a woman, be like, she's attractive, but not sexually. I don't find her sexually attractive, so therefore she could be a friend. And the minute you friend zone her, it's going to fuck with her mind mentally, and she's going to want out of that friend zone category, and she's going to want more from you. She's going to make passes at you. She's going to flirt with you. She's going to do a lot of extra shit. It's typically how it works. And the sad part about that is And the sad part about that is how a lot of the shit actually works is people don't realize that you're putting all this time and effort into this shit for nothing. For nothing. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I would much rather drive 6 kids around or 10 kids around to various different activities than actually spend multiple plates of women. Because at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to get something. I know I'm going to get like greatness out of these children, driving them around to all these activities versus, maybe get some sex, maybe get some sex. Like, think about that. Why would I want? Why would I want some lazy ass sex that I could pretty much get anywhere? Why would I want lazy ass sex? Why would I want the lazy ass sex that I can pretty much get anywhere? Why would I want sex from 6 different people when I can get it when I get quality sex from other people? And the sad part about that, a lot of times these women aren't really all that great in bed either. They bounce on you like a pogo stick. Like, they don't know how to move their hips, they don't know how to rock their hips, they don't know how to move in bed. It's just facts. So why would I want to pretty much spin plates of women that suck at bedroom fun? I'm gonna need a bitch that actually makes it interesting in a bedroom. I'm sorry. I don't want some bitch that just pounces, like jumps on you like a pogo stick all the fucking time. That's just ridiculous. That's pointless. That's not good sex. That's just annoying. Especially if that's the only move she knows. Like, I'm sorry. I need a woman. I need some quality sex. I need a woman that can rock them hips, rotate them hips. You know, I need a woman that can literally do the same shit she does on the dance floor in the bedroom. Like, legit. Because all these women, if you ever notice, a lot of these women that be, twerking on their handstand and doing all this crazy shit in the club, you take them home and they look like a board, or they look like a pogo stick on you. They look like a board laying down in bed, no movement, no rhythm, no nothing, or they look like a big ass pogo stick on top of you. That's typically what it is. They need to invest in a few pillows. Hey, that's actually another good market that you actually can get into, Yam. Body pillows, because women buy them shits up like it's going out of style. Women literally buy those shits up like it's going out of style. So body pillows is a good market to get into because women will buy those shits up, especially the lonely ass women, especially all the lonely women in the Western world. They love their body pillows because it's a body pillow and it simulates actually having a person laying next to you. Because, like I said, women like the constant touch or the constant contact of something against them for the most part. So body pillows actually is a nice simulator of that, despite the fact that it's not really skin, but it's the closest they can get to skin regularly against them. Because a lot of them suck out relationships and they fail out relationships any fucking way. So that's the best they can do for what they got. Yeah. What? Coughing in bed. Yeah. Hey, shoot. People like to be comfortable where they're dead too. Yams body pillows and coffins are in beds. Got it. That's your slogan or your that's your marketing. I got you. I got you now. That's what's up. But yeah, it's just basically that type of shit for the most part. You're basically simping out the women. It's another way, another avenue to simp out the women. And if you're rotating that many plates, you're literally simping out to that many women because all that time that you're spending rotating these plates and going to go get sex is time well spent on starting a business, starting multiple business, learning a new skill, learning some hobbies, taking a dance class, fucking starting a dance studio. Shit, you can do all this shit with all this shit. So why? So why? So why put yourself in that type of why put yourself at a disadvantage when you can actually do all this shit? And I already hear, well, I have a business. Yeah, your business is pretty much selling people pickup artistry. That's your fucking business. You're a fucking coach. That's all you do. You're pretty much a one trick pony. You'll see. Well, I have real estate. Well, duh. Who doesn't? Who the fuck doesn't? Like, I'm not impressed by real estate. Like, I'm not impressed that you're a coach. I'm not impressed that you have real estate. That's and the sad part about that, being a coach, being having coaching, like coaching people and having real estate is basically the same thing, is equivalent to women going to college and getting a liberal arts degree. It's pretty much the same thing. You're a dime a dozen. You're a dime a fucking dozen. Just like women going to school and getting these retarded ass degrees, you're pretty much these pretty much dime a dozen degrees that cost a shit ton of money and they're in debt now. You're pretty much trying to do something that's pretty much a dime a dozen. So you guys are about as plentiful as hoes. If not, there might be more hoes than you. But then again, now that I think about it, you help make all them hoes. So therefore, I guess you need those hoes in your market so you can actually be able to pimp men out so you can get those same hoes that you done pretty much pass around. And the sad part about that is, why would I want something that's been already chewed? Why would I want something that everybody's pretty much had their mouth on or their dick in? Why would I want the public urinal? In other words, is what I'm trying to say. Why would I want the already chewed dog toy? Why would I want the public urinal? Because basically that's what it really is. Because 9 times out of 10, because she laid down with you, she's probably laid down with multiple people. So therefore, why would I want the public urinal? Or my favorite line, why would I want the dog chew toy? Like, think about this shit. And it's typically what it is. And the sad part about that is a lot of people always try to run away or try to use all these excuses for why they want to date somebody or why they want to, you know, why they want to, they want to try to make themselves sound cooler than what they really are. That's a good one, yeah. And it is what it is. Like, women do that shit all the time, yams. Women do that shit all the time. Yeah, and the sad part about that is you're pretty much a dime a dozen. Who doesn't? And the sad part about that is it's not like you have a quality degree. You basically went to school for stupid shit, and now you're not using it. Ooh. So now you have a degree. Now you're trying to print that you have a degree, and you want somebody with a degree, but you're not using your degree. Nor are you probably ever going to use your degree. Like, think about that shit. Like at the end of the day, women like that are pretty much a dime a dozen, just like pickup artists are a dime a dozen. Sad part about that is, why pay for some shit to waste your time to juggle women that's not going to better yourself? Because at the end of the day, sex doesn't better you. Sex doesn't make you a better human being. There's nothing about sex that says I learned something. Like, think about that shit. There's nothing in sex where you actually learn something, where you can think to yourself, go, huh, I just learned a new skill. Like, think about that. Like, it's sex. It's fucking sex. You don't learn a new skill in sex. You basically just stick it in the fucking hole. That's fucking it. You stick it in a fucking hole. That's it. Think about that. What new skill are you actually learning if all you're doing is just sticking it in a fucking hole? And the sad part about that is you got 3 holes to choose from: the ass, the pussy, and the mouth. And if you feel really adventurous, you can stick it in the fucking ear or the nose. I'm just saying, like, you're really not learning any new skills besides sticking it in the hole. That's it. That's fucking it. Because at the end of the day, after that, all it is angles. Your angle entry. That's all it really is. Because you're not really learning any new skills. All you're basically doing is having the same old lazy ass fucking sex. It is what it is. So why waste your time on some bullshit? Why waste your time on stupid shit? And the sad part about that is they actually do have educational courses on Pornhub, which is actually pretty funny. They actually like if you actually look up what's her name? Apparently, according to my friend Marco, Nina Hartley actually has a tutorial on how to eat pussy. Like, think about that shit. Nina Hartley has an editorial on how to eat pussy. Like think about that shit. And it's just stuff like that. And like a couple of them actually have editorials on how to touch, when to touch, and where to touch the body at during sex, pre-sex, during sex, and after sex. So there are tutorials on there for every damn thing. So you could learn more on Pornhub than you could actually having sex yourself, or or you could doing any fucking thing else. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, that's my overall thoughts on the whole entire topic when it comes to pickup artists in game. Does it work? I'm gonna do a summary now because I'm gonna end the stream because I kind of held y'all hostage long enough, and I know some of y'all niggas want to go to sleep. Does it work? Yes, it does work. It does work. I will give it that. It does work. However, if you're going to learn game, I would say learn complete game because you need the same that same energy you put into being able to pick up women. You need to put that same energy into using that game to be able to get you out of stupid shit like trouble with the law, trouble with a judge, trouble with anybody, getting a better promotion, getting that raise that you want. Being able to get your foot in at a company by being very charismatic, or being able to game the person that's actually interviewing you, making yourself more successful, more available, and and making everybody think, what, he's going to be the CEO of this company one day. Even if you don't have the fucking experience to do it, you're just that fucking confident where they will actually literally vote your ass into that same position or put your ass in that position. It's pretty much what it is. So game does work if you learn it completely and you learn it 100% and not just picking up women. If you're able to apply it to the rest of your fucking life, game is great. Game is perfect. Does it work on women? Hell yeah, it does. It all depends on the women that you're trying to actually go after, yeah. But it works on women for all intents and purposes, yeah. To some extent, if you actually sit in the bar long enough or the club long enough, women already decided that they're going home with a guy anyway, so there's no point even using it. It's typically how that works. So game is good to have if you're willing to use it for every aspect of your life. My thoughts on PUAs and pickup artistry is it's nothing more than another avenue to simp to women. You're basically wasting your time, your effort, money, and shit that you can't get back from hitting on women or spending this time in women or on women or with women on you. You're wasting this time that you can't get back that you could have used for education, hobbies, learning a new skill, trade, whatever the hell, spending time on yourself and your hobbies, working out at the gym, starting a new business, shit like that for the most part. Shit like that. So at the end of the day, yeah, it does actually. It does, yeah, I'm actually. It does actually work when you're actually trying to get out of being gully. Because like there's been many times when I've actually talked to people just to get the so they wouldn't call the cops. Even though the situation was like sadistically sad, I've actually talked people out of calling the cops. So yeah, game does work when you want to talk people out of calling the cops and getting the cops involved. Just call the paramedics and send them to the damn hospital. That's simply what it is. But yeah, like that's my thing when it comes to game. Like if you're not going to use it for other aspects of your life, then it's really not worth your time. It's not worth your effort, and it's not really worth the paper that you paid for it, nor worth the paper that you got your name on saying I went to this class. It's not really worth it. It's not worth it at all. And the sad part about that is you're wasting time, energy, and resource. You're basically the general resources on trying to get girls, be in girls, be on girls, or have girls on you for the most part. So it's not worth your time. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth it if you're not going to use it in other aspects of your life, like getting out of tickets, having a judge actually throw a case out, Shit like that. Convincing the defense, convincing the ADA that maybe this isn't a great job, great idea, and we might want to just, cut our losses and, just say we're going to throw the case out. If you can't do that with game, then you're not worth any damn thing for the most part. And that's typically how I think about game. You got to be able to use game complete 360 in your whole entire fucking life. You got to be able to apply it in your whole fucking life for you to even remotely be good at game. If you can only apply it on women, then you pretty much suck at it. And you're a beginner, you're a novice. No matter how many girls you get, you're a fucking novice. If you can't apply it across the board and make it work in your whole entire fucking life, which you actually can, before anybody get on here saying that they can't, you can. I've done it multiple times and I've got out of a lot of shit with game. It don't matter who it is. I get out a lot of shit with game and charisma and smiling my way out of shit for the most part. Hell, I've gotten in trouble and simply smiled and said a few kind words, and motherfuckers just let me off with a warning. Or just, oh, fuck it, just go. Shit like that. Like, yeah, so if you're not going to be able to use it in every aspect of your life, then it's not worth your fucking time. It's not worth your time just trying to get women. If you can't harness it and use it and apply it to the rest of your fucking lives, for the most part. So yeah, that's typically my thoughts on it. If that's all you're gonna use it for is getting women, then you're pretty much simping your time out for women. You're basically a blue pill simp for women, and I believe that all pickup artists are simps. At the end of the day, they're fucking simps. It is what it is. So y'all have a good one. Be good. Be blessed. Have a great night. Treat yourselves like milk. Do nothing but spoil yourselves. Always improve yourself. Always better yourself. Always make yourself a better human being. And make yourself the best version of yourself. I'm Tico Tren Red Pill. Adios, my niggas. Good night. Good evening. Good day. And good morning. And afternoon.